Hello, World Wide Web. I'm Dr. Shadi, and I'm personality of hair, and I hope my microphone is working. It should be. It should be. But I don't got anyone else here right now to kind of bounce things off of and make sure that's the case. And it said it was working earlier, but well, I've had a lot of interesting times trying to make sure it was working, and then it wasn't. So, welcome to Live and Wired, episode 117, Batgirl Beyond, which, of course, is in reference to our first bit of movie news. But before we get into all of that, hello, everyone. Hello, 123784444 games. In more ways than one, but it's Live and Wired time. It's time for everyone to come together and talk about entertainment and try and ignore all of the ways in which the world is burning down around us. Which is, the world has burnt down around me, as you see. And since I don't have anyone else here to talk to, you can also see a little bit more, which is unfortunate, but, you know, it happens. It happens. Oh yeah. YouTube's been a real pain. I hate that. Like, I want to do more for the Patreon support and stuff, but I hate that whenever I do like a little podcast or a little live feed, inevitably I'm just complaining about YouTube. It is my life, but at the same time, I need more interesting things to talk about. If you can hear me bitch and moan about YouTube all day, every day, forever, I'm never gonna stop doing it. But it's not interesting anymore. Everyone knows that YouTube doesn't care. Hello, everyone. New Joker movie? Am I in it? Because I'd like to be in it. A lot of people said I made a pretty nice Joker. I don't think so, but, you know, it'd be fun. I feel like there are better Jokers out there. But if need be, I could be an interesting Joker. I could do a Joker. Thoughts on the new Indiana Jones movie? I've only seen bits and pieces of the trailers, but I'm just there like, you know, high adventure and stuff relies on things being kind of campy, but there is still the need to have that suspension of disbelief, which is one reason why Kingdom of the Crystal Skull didn't work. Yes, earlier Indiana Jones movies went so far as to involve like ancient relics and magic, but it was after a lot of buildup and stuff to that point. Whereas you still like running through ancient ruins with traps that still somehow work, that are over the top, this giant boulder coming after him, but it's still within that realm of possibility. It's still kind of believable. Even the ancient magic is still kind of believable. But when you nuke a guy who's like, I protected myself because I jumped into a lead-lined refrigerator that tossed my ass a few hundred miles before slamming me down to the ground and rolling around, somehow I'm okay. It got great airbags in that thing. Yeah, you already broke that suspension of disbelief pretty damn hard. And, time travel? Yeah, time travel. So, yeah. Oh, I haven't seen the trailer for the new Dungeons and Dragons movie. I gotta watch more trailers and stuff. That's one thing that people said. Some people said that my trailer reaction for the Mean One wasn't a real trailer reaction because, yeah, technically, I didn't just have the trailer playing and there's me in the corner like, yep, that's a trailer. But I actually did record my first viewing like that. I just felt like the result of it was too shitty to actually just like, here's my content. So I just turned on my camera and said what I thought instead and edited a little video about that. Would I go to see Cocaine Bear? Yes. Oh. Okay. Joker would be better trying to be like Joker. Hands up, whose favorite Joker was Cesar Romero and Jack Nicholson. Jack Nicholson was my first Joker, really. Cesar Romero is a good Joker, but unfortunately, like when I was watching that Batman series, it was during my teenage years of I must be surrounded by very serious and real gritty kind of stuff. And that didn't fit, and I was just, But, you know, right now that I am older and I can admit that I like silly shit, it's plenty fun. Uh, but that's fine. I'm not saying you can't enjoy it. I'm just, I don't know. And I feel like the high adventure has kind of got its place. Kind of like I feel, there's a big difference between campy and comedy, and while campy can be very funny, very enjoyable, and silly as all hell, when you take something campy and you try and make it into comedy, it oftentimes breaks in the process. I've seen that happen a few times. It's still funny to me when I see old reviews of Earth Defense Force Insect Armageddon that said that it took itself way too seriously. And it's like, no, this is the one that tried to play it up as a comedy. The mainline series takes itself dead serious, which is why the campy aspect works so well in it. Insect Armageddon did play it up for jokes, which is why it didn't work so well. That and the fact there were only 15 levels. But, yeah. Think Like Daddy sadly is not joining us, it seems. He has a job. He has a real job, which, I guess is one up on me. But if I made it out to Violent Night, I still, you see, I keep getting caught up in Dino-cember, which it's kind of a tradition around here, but I do know that, around Christmas times, maybe do some Christmas stuff might be a little bit better. And looking at the way things work around YouTube, it's like, maybe going for a little more relevance would actually help me get seen a little bit more. One of the reasons I went for the Mean One trailer reaction was I'm just sitting there like, okay, I posted the bloopers video, and it did horrendously, but, okay. I got this posted here, that posted there, and for the first time in a while, subscriber count was going down. It's like, that's not good. That's not healthy. So I decided, fuck it. I went to the trending page on YouTube, clicked over to movies, and scrolled until I found something that I felt like talking about. And it was like, The Mean One, Christmas horror movie. There we go. There's a trailer coming soon. Watch it. Say what you think. Put that up there. And that video has done okay. It's done pretty good for its click-through rate. Of course, YouTube has shown it to less than half the amount of people that it usually shows my videos to. But the big thing is that it also resulted in a substantial increase in subscriber gain afterwards. It's still only like 20 to 30 a day, but a hell of a lot more than negative 20. So, yeah. Remember, EDF is at its best when it throws near endless amounts of bugs at you so that you can deploy the hand of God to wipe them all out. Yes, and I'm still waiting on any kind of announcement of the American release date of Earth Defense Force 6. I'm still waiting on that. EDF 6 has been out in Japan for a while. I could theoretically buy it and play it, and then just in between missions be like, okay, and have the auto translation on the camera on the phone. It's like, okay, so that's what that weapon is. That's what that mission description is. That's that menu item. Okay. That's how a lot of people have actually done it. But I want to experience the story and really just all of that. And I'd like to do it in a way where I understand everything, at least as best I can. From what I hear, it involves time travel. So, yeah. So, yeah, there's the just so much there. And I watched the Game Awards, and I was very disappointed that EDF was not shown off. And I'm like, come on, guys. Give me a little hint as to when the hell this is going to come out. It's already out in Japan. I want it here today. I'll fire up my PS5 for the first time in months and play this goddamn thing. To blow the dust off the system and just put up some EDF. There we go. Well, there's always the alternate dimensions. That's what they pulled off in the advertising campaign for Iron Rain. I think The Mean One is actually out now, like out in theaters and possibly streaming services. I should see about doing a reaction review to it. It's funny, I saw one tweet about it from Dead Meat, where he was like, okay, it's enjoyable, but it is really very incredibly low budget and cheap. But if that's your thing, you can enjoy this movie. And I'm thinking, like, yeah, that's kind of the vibe I got from the trailer. It's exactly what I was expecting, and I'm expecting to. I'm thinking it's probably going to be a 2 out of 5. I love it kind of thing for me. That's just what I'm guessing from the trailer. But yeah. Oh, I wouldn't think that it's exclusive to Japan, but at the same time, like, they have not said anything. It's like they released it in Japan, and then they said it's coming to America later, and they just haven't said anything about that. And I remember a little thing coming out for that was the Final Fantasy VII remake came out. That was just on PlayStation. For now, it's coming to Xbox later. It's now what, 2.5, 3 years later. When the fuck is it coming? They still haven't said a thing. So yeah. Anyway, it's time to break into the news of the day. The big news, of course. I forgot to put up all the little things that would show up on the bottom well, I didn't have the most time. I was doing a lot. Anyway, the title card news. It's not so much news as in a recent happening, but everyone finding out about it is very recent. That being that evidently there were plans. A Batman Beyond live-action movie was in the early planning stages, at least. And one of the things that was kind of decided on in these early planning stages already was get Michael Keaton on board, which I'm pretty sure they would have him as the role of Bruce Wayne. And because he played Bruce Wayne in the Tim Burton Batman movies, just saying. Michael Keaton, Bruce Wayne in the Tim Burton Batman movies. Michael Keaton, Bruce Wayne in the Batman Beyond movie. I could get behind that and a half. But, and it's a pretty big but, they just said, nah, not happening. There was some talk back and forth on some articles I was reading about it, saying that it was like they like where Batman is right now, in cinema, and no reason to rock the boat by throwing out this weird Batman Beyond thing. And I'm thinking, like, is this kind of like a situation like the president of Sega of America shit canning Streets of Rage 4 or 5? 4, I think. Yeah, the original Streets of Rage 4. Shit canning that for the Dreamcast because he didn't realize that it was a series that Sega had already done like 3 games of, and he was like, what is this weird new game? We shouldn't make weird new games. We should stick to the games that people have already bought and know it works. Get this Streets of Rage 4 out of here. Batgirl Beyond was the real goal. Terry McGinness is going to be an interesting one. I was trying to think of a female Terry, but then I was like, nah, Terry still works. It's one of those unisex names. It works out. But Ginger Dead Man 1, 2, and 3. Yes, I should at some point. Oh man, but I think that Michael Keaton would make a fun old Bruce Wayne, because Michael Keaton still has that Michael Keaton quality, being Michael Keaton. So, what was it? Batman Beyond. It's like that was a series that I personally really got behind up until things started getting just weird. And yes, everyone corrected me that no, Terry is not a clone of Bruce. It's that Bruce Wayne's DNA was reconstituted into Terry McGinness's father's nutsack. So that when Terry McGinness's father fucked Terry's mom and impregnated her with the child, technically it's Bruce's child to make Terry McGinnis. So Terry McGinnis is the son of Bruce Wayne through weird science convoluted thing, and Terry's mom, who is his biological mom, but his biological dad is not his biological dad. His biological dad is Bruce Wayne, and Bruce Wayne has no idea this happened. And it's Yeah, I think it's just a lot easier to say he's a clone. Maybe it would be better to just say he's a clone. I don't know. Yeah, Terry is Bruce's son, but I still hate that. I still hate that. I feel like Terry should have no relationship to Bruce Wayne whatsoever. I feel like Terry should be Terry and Bruce can be Bruce. Batman as Terry is still Batman. It doesn't have to be Bruce. It can still be Batman without being Bruce. That was one of the things that I liked. Oh, god damn it. The screen just went black again. This happened before when I was trying to set up the stream. I'm going to assume that it is still streaming right now, but I can't do anything. I assume, like last time, we have a frozen image on the stream, and I am just, you can hear me. So, I have no idea why this is happening. I have 3 monitors set up right now. The central monitor, my main monitor, has gone black, and the other 2 monitors are just kind of frozen. I'm dragging my mouse around, but I don't see anything. So I'm going to have to do another reboot and rejoin the stream, which should still be in progress, and hope for the best. So, see you in a minute or two. Hello, everyone. Yeah. It looks like I lost my other 2 monitors here. It's just back to dang it, back to the single. So I'm gonna assume, green screen not working anymore. The drivers again just crapped out. Fun. Back to 1 month. Why is it this? This has only been happening with StreamYard. Well, I turned off my entire system and turned it back on again. So yes. Yeah. That's why. I have so many things I am trying to do here, and having to stop and start again. No, it's not Windows Update. It's just my drivers keep crapping out. I'm going to go ahead and let's see. Oh yeah, the adrenaline is not running right now. AMD. Okay, so, well, we are at about time to talk about the Live and Wired poll. Just everything, like my main screen turned black and my other 2 screens froze, so I reset my computer, and now my main screen's back on, my other 2 screens just off, and it's I got the green screen not working, so if I go into my settings and I say, hey, virtual background, it gives me this little thing saying your browser doesn't support a green screen feature. A GPU is required. Your device, so it's my driver's crapped out again. It does this on StreamYard during Live and Wired. It doesn't do it anywhere else. Everything else is fine. So, I mean, I got to reinstall the drivers again, but it's, yeah. Anyway, I had this all set up, but I got to set it up again. Let me see. Let me bring up I had it all saved here. I've got the outline for the poll, so I got to go back, reopen these windows now, switching in between them with a single screen, which I hate doing, which is why I have a triple monitor set up. Create post. Yeah, here we go. I'm going to create a text poll. This is a Live and Wired poll. And what is the poll this week? Well, if they ever did get around to making a live-action Batman Beyond movie, who should be the quote-unquote main villain? Now, this is a good question, as there are plenty of great villains in Batman Beyond, and of course, we also already got a Joker one in the cartoon, so that doesn't really count. So, let's say Blight. Everyone knows Blight. Everyone loves Blight. Blight killed Batman's father and wonders, and he was given that hint as to who Batman is and said, do you have any idea how little that narrows it down? And that became quite the meme. Beyond that, we also have Shriek. I personally loved that episode. They kind of cheated a bit when it came to making him everything silent. He has the sound powers and moves things with sound and can make people deaf, and it's great. There's Spellbinder. I can't remember nothing about Spellbinder, let's be honest with you. But Ink, love Ink. Everyone loves Ink. Ink is kind of like a female Clayface. But she's a squid now, but not a squid. But it's kind of the sexy Splatoon thing going on. And Curare, don't know how to pronounce that. She got a sword. She got a mask on. She is seen a couple of times by Batman, and she ugly as sin, we can assume. But really. Her sword has like one molecule in width. It is sharpened by lasers. It's a super sword. She can cut things up real good with it. So, who would make the best movie for a Batman Beyond live-action feature film? It is on the channel community page. I will be sharing the link out momentarily. And here we are. There is the link for you. Oh yeah, Ink was like, There were like, I think Ink died in her first episode, but she was such a fan favorite they still found a way to bring her back, which they do that. I mean, so can I. This is a good show. You are enjoying yourself. Nothing bad has happened. That's supposed to look like that. Oh. No. No, I did not. Okay. Let's see. I'm going to just tweet out the link to the boom. There it is. Okay, I just tweeted it out. Easy enough. Okay, so with that, can look at the next bit of news. We are late on talking about it. Yes. The Game Awards happened. The Game Awards. Everyone knows the Game Awards. Everyone loves the Game Awards. It's so memeable, and this year was no exception. There was quite a bit that happened in the Game Awards this year. Now, of course, it's the awards that went out, but even the Game Awards doesn't pretend like that's something people actually care about. Half of the awards are given out like kind of during the commercial breaks, effectively. They're like, hey, here's the nominees, and I guess that one wins. Okay, moving on. Did you hear about Game Pass on Samsung TVs? So the big takeaways from the Game Awards in terms of awards: God of War won practically everything, except for Game of the Year, which went to Elden Ring. But no one remembers that Elden Ring won Game of the Year because everyone just remembers that the kid that went up to the microphone, like he went up on stage while they were giving their acceptance speech, and then after that he just went up to the microphone and nominated the Reformed Orthodox Rabbi Bill Clinton. And then security dragged him off and he got arrested. So that was a thing. That was a thing. And then, of course, the big takeaways were the games that made Charlie and myself just be like, whoa! Her big takeaway was when Kojima wound up being Kojima. This is, hi, I'm Kojima. Kojima Studios presents a Kojima game written and directed by Hideo Kojima. And then it's like, boom, DS2. And she loved Death Stranding, so she's like, yeah! And so it's like, that's great, I'm happy for you. In the meantime, I'm here like, I really want EDF 6, just some acknowledgement that it's coming stateside. It's supposed to be, but release date is TBA. And then it just showing this whole other thing with all this red energy going and ruined planets and stuff, and a giant robot picks up a gun with another giant robot's hand still attached, and then it pops, boom, from software. And I immediately lose my shit like, fucking Armored Core, baby, yeah! So that's what it went for me. Like, holy hell, we're getting another Armored Core. Finally. After I was like, okay, From Software is only ever going to make Souls games now. It's just how it is. It's what makes the money, and I'm just gonna have to accept that. No, we're getting an Armored Core by From Software. They didn't pass it off to some other side studio. From Software, Armored Core 6. Armored Core. Armored Core. Armored Core. Oh, I didn't. Was that when I was going back and forth to the bathroom? I don't know. I'm gonna have to ask Charlie. What was the date on Atomic Heart? Still, the Atomic Heart looks fantastic. I'm wondering how it's gonna run. Like, I've seen like people playing like little bits here and there, and it still looks fantastic and seems to run pretty well. Was disappointed also, not just in no discussion of EDF 6, but also Dokkaebi. Anyone else remember Dokkaebi? That was shown off like once a long dang time ago, and then once more, still pretty long ago, and then once again very shortly after that, and then nothing. Nothing at all. Where the hell is Dokkaebi? I want to show them my everything. That sounded really bad, but Dokkaebi. Dokkaebi. I have not yet seen Jeepers Creepers Reborn. Oh yeah, 2028 will be the best year of gaming, yes. When Dokkaebi finally releases and EDF 6 in America. But fucking Armored Core, baby. Armored Core. Armored Core. Really good books or poetry. I knew there was something missing in my life. Beer. And possibly books and poetry. But I need to get some beer later. Anyway. But yeah, there was one funny thing that happened during the Game Awards is Steam was giving out a Steam Deck every minute during the Game Awards. All you had to do was register for a chance and watch the Game Awards on Steam through Steam's, setup. So I was doing that, and I'm looking, and it's every time it's flashing like, congratulations, so-and-so, our latest Steam Deck win, congratulations, so-and-so. And one time it flashes, congratulations, Decker, our latest Steam Deck winner. And I'm like, because then on the side there, it still says, you're registered, good luck. So it wasn't like, you won. It was like, yeah, good luck, motherfucker, Decker won. And I looked, and I'm like, huh? And then I realized, I'm Decker Shadow on Steam. So what happened is that there's someone else on Steam, named Decker, who also registered to win a Steam Deck and was also watching on Steam at the same time as me. And actually, somehow they did win. They watched it at the same time, and I watched Decker win, and I'm like, okay, that's good on you, Decker. So one of those other Deckers, one of those clone Deckers from the previous episodes and possibly future episodes, one of them made out like a bandit, got a Steam Deck for free, 512 gigabyte model. So yeah. Anyway, moving on to a little bit of internet news. We have an interesting little thing going on with Twitter. The Twitter acquisition and all that stuff by Elon Musk has been, fun talking about. Everyone saying, hey, do this, do that, sue him, sue that. And of course, the Twitter files coming out are great and all, but that's getting political. And I don't like to get political. So I found something else going on. There is a lawsuit against Elon Musk. You remember when he got Twitter, he fired the fuck out of everybody. He fired practically everybody. He put together a list saying everyone who worked at least this much, you get to stay. Everyone else, your ass is fired. Then later on, he was like, okay, we're going to making this much stuff. We need you to work 30 hours a day for the next 5,000 years. Who's going to do it? And so many people stayed, and the rest of them said, fuck it, and left. So we whittled down the amount of people who were working at Twitter a lot. And he is currently being sued by a group of women who were fired from Twitter, whose claim is that his layoffs disproportionately affected women. Now, the gender of the people being fired had absolutely no fucking bearing on the decision to fire them. It could be true that it did disproportionately affect women, but one has to keep in mind exactly how damn many women were working at Twitter, how many were working that hard, how many had jobs that were completely fucking useless. How many of them had, were just kind of going around making the coffee. That's not a great job to have. And people at Twitter, a lot of them who were working at Twitter, did you see the freaking Twitter offices, the way things were set up? It was a really cushy job. A lot of them didn't do shit, showed up to work and had some freaking wine and sat in the fucking yoga room for a few hours and went home and made it a freaking 6-figure salary. So yeah, Twitter was losing a lot of money for a lot of stupid reasons, and Elon fired the hell out of a lot of them, which he should have. If the point of Twitter is to, not bleed money. Quite possibly, he might. Elon could be dead weight and just fire his own ass. But yeah, paid for nothing as long as they did certain things with the platform. That was kind of the thing. And so there was a lawsuit saying that his firing practices disproportionately affected women. And it does remind me a bit of when BuzzFeed had to do massive layoffs because they were bleeding money and they couldn't keep the lights on and they had to fire a lot of people. And there were complaints coming that BuzzFeed's layoffs were disproportionately affecting minorities, which was true. Most of the people being laid off from BuzzFeed were minorities. The problem was the fact that over the last 15 years at BuzzFeed, they had already been firing most of their straight white men and hiring minorities for virtue points. So they could have fired every single straight white man who worked at BuzzFeed, but still, in order to fire enough people to keep the lights on, they'd end up firing mostly minorities. Because there weren't enough straight white men to fire left. It's just kind of how it was. So I feel like Twitter's situation is kind of in a similar boat where, yeah, he fired most people that worked there. And I don't know, were the people who actually did work disproportionately men? If so, then still the fact that he kept them for doing work means that he's not in violation of any kind of law there. You don't get to keep your job that you're not doing just because you're female. That's discriminatory. But yeah, that's okay. I've had my say. I've had my say. Yeah. And gourmet caters and stuff that gave them really fancy and expensive food that cost $100,000 a month in revenue. I heard like lunch at Twitter, like the lunch catering was like $600 a day per employee, or something like that. It was a lot. It was a goddamn lot. A lot of those advertisers have come back. They were ones who were leaving, and then they came back because Twitter is doing fine and it's still getting a lot of views, and advertisers want to get their stuff out there. So I was kind of wondering if like the advertising would get bad enough on Twitter if I could maybe myself just advertise my YouTube channel a bit, pay Twitter like $5 and get 20 million impressions on it. So they're like, hey, if it gets bad enough, maybe I could get a good deal here. But unfortunately, no, the big advertisers are coming back already. And I was like, damn it, guys. All you had to do was leave for a while and have Elon desperate for some freaking something. Death Stranding 2, that's an interesting one because like there was the lady there who was played by the same lady as Fragile. However, we saw her arms and stuff. She was not fragile unless Fragile figured out a way to fix all that shit. I don't know. Maybe L'Oreal is like super L'Oreal in the world of Death Stranding 2. But on the flip side, we also see Sam Porter Bridges. He's there and he's grayed out to all hell. So either he has gotten really old in between Death Stranding 1 and 2, or he washed himself down with some Timefall. We don't know. It's just kind of how that is. The baby, I think, died in the little cutscene they showed, but it comes back like a repatriate, except it came back as a BT, which is something. So is it a repatriate or is it BT? What happened there? That's a big question. Are you going to be plugging into a BT in Death Stranding 2? How's that going to change the game? What's going to happen here? Need to see some actual what's the word I'm looking for here? Gameplay before I make any kind of judgment there. Oh, no, I mean, yeah, there's that, but they had a giant robot in the trailer. Maybe it is something involved in the game and not just in a cutscene. Favorite Rob Zombie movie? I think 3 from Hell really does Rob Zombie the best. I feel like House of a Thousand Corpses was trying to be too many homages to too many things and was just kind of a mess. 3 from Hell did what Rob Zombie did well and went with it. So I feel like 3 from Hell worked very well for Rob Zombie. No. Who needs that? We need to have just the oh god. That is there's so many weird things. Like they have to have 5 nominees and they have to be popular games. So they're like best fighting game and Sifu's in there. And I was like, I guess there's fighting in that game technically, but it's not what you would call a fighting game. Fighting game is like a one-on-one or just an arena. You're in an arena fighting. That's all that happens. That's all that happens. Like I would consider Power Stone to be a fighting game, even though it technically has a lot of things going on that is not what you would normally get in a fighting game like your Street Fighter or what have you. But you would still call Power Stone a fighting game. But Sifu is like a beat 'em up. which technically is not a fighting game. Technically not a fighting game. But it is time for our next bit of news. Ah, yes. The acquisition that never ends has heated up a lot in the last couple of days. So, Microsoft buying Activision Blizzard King. It's actually gone forward that the FTC has decided that yes, they are going to sue to try and stop the acquisition. You find that out on DeviantArt. But the thing is, the FTC went forward and they have their big list of all the things like, we believe that Microsoft is in the wrong here because they might do this, might do this, might do this, might do this. And they're rattling off a whole bunch of things that Sony's already doing as the market leader. But they're saying there's a possibility that Microsoft might do that to a small degree in the future. Therefore, you have to stop this. They're in third place now, and they'll be in third place after the acquisition. But they still need to stay third place, even though they will. And it's just bad. Just bad. You got to stop them, because they might do the same stuff Sony's doing right now as the market leader. Which is funny because it's actually one of the points that Brazil brought up is that, hey, assuming that Microsoft does do all this shit, they're still fine to do it. The consumer would be fine, and it's just Sony that would be hurt, and our job is to protect consumers, not protect Sony. But no, the FTC is going to bat for Sony. Who is like the only company who is asking for this to stop. Everyone else, like Nintendo, Steam, like everyone is like, yeah, this is fine, or they're like, they don't care. They either don't care or they're positive about it. Sony's the only one like, no, this has to stop. This has to stop now. But it's also the FTC, after 4 failed attempts to stop mergers, is now saying, okay, we're going to sue Microsoft. You're going to stop this right here. They're not going to have that. And they brought this whole list, and they said like they lied before in the Bethesda acquisition. They said they weren't going to do this, or this, and they did all of that. They lied to the Europeans about that, and the European Union regulators came back and they're like, actually, those points aren't true. Everything they said that they were going to do, they did, and then some. And we even told them they didn't have to do that. That was we accepted the purchase without any kind of stipulation, and they still they held up their end of the contracts and everything. So it's well, you see, the key is to not be loyal to anybody. Like Microsoft don't give a fuck about none of us either. So Nintendo just straight up hates us. The Nintendo will come to you. You find an old game, dust it off, and go look. Oh, this is an old Chinese knockoff thing that is loaded with 50 Nintendo ROMs. Isn't that something? And Nintendo ninjas are gonna bust down your door like FBI open up, and that's that. That is it. Like all of these companies don't give a fuck about us. But yeah, the funny thing is, like, you got the FTC like going forward with it, and they're posting it on Twitter. They're being all proud. You got Elizabeth Warren and Bernie Sanders trying to go for political points, and they're like, "Hey guys, this is amazing. We helped make this happen. The FTC is going to sue Microsoft to try and stop that acquisition. Yay!" And you look at the responses, and 49 out of 50 are just tearing them a new asshole, calling them completely out of touch morons. And it's something really fun to see when a politician tries to play politics and do something, and then it's completely for optics reasons, and it as an absolute backfire. Absolute backfire. They're like, oh, everyone's gonna love this, and they don't. They do not. Yeah. So. Yeah, the biggest point that the FTC is making in their lawsuit has already been proven false by the EU regulators, which means that they have nothing for the lawsuit to present, which is going to be an interesting day in court. I'm not so happy to be paying for it. Anyone else out there paying U.S. taxes? How you feel about having to pay for this lawsuit and what's going on with that? Oh yeah, it also ignores why the deal happened in the first place. Yeah, it certainly is not Microsoft's first rodeo with lawsuits. The antitrust suits they were facing before were pretty substantial and pretty serious and pretty down to earth. That is exactly how Microsoft is doing with the OS space. I mean, everything runs on Windows right now, and I feel like Microsoft doesn't have at least some kind of monopolistic stuff going on there. Well, not according to the FTC, they don't. At least not according to all the money that Microsoft has lobbied with. So yeah, yeah. It's just let's just screw it. Let's just give all the money to the government. They could just do whatever the hell with it. Like, let's just warm ourselves during the winter, just burning it all. Oh, coincidence? Everything's so happy right now. I did a movie about Dead Arms Deal. It's the guy that Lord of War was based on. He's back at it. He's back at it. But at least it's not some kind of big international war for him to profit on right now, is there? Yay. Well, on the plus side, if we don't all die in a nuclear hellfire, we might get Lord of War 2 somewhere down the line. Which, if it's anything like the first movie, it's going to be pretty awesome. Like, it's going to be entertaining. It's going to be very entertaining. Oh, God damn. But. Yeah, that's pretty much the news going on with that. The acquisition is most likely going to go through because the FTC's case is so incredibly weak, and the people who they were citing as references have already discredited them. So, yeah. But there's kind of like Phil Spencer is sitting there at the Game Awards, like, here I am celebrating games, and oh, look at that, I'm being sued again. Yep. I was going to buy Tencent later today, but god damn it. Oh, boy. See, I hope not, but see, I'm assuming that it's not going to go the same way as it does in all those simulations where they're like, and everyone just starts throwing nukes everywhere. Because remember, there was that time when there was a nuke that was detected that is heading to a Russian sub, and the guy whose job was in that situation to press the button to fire back didn't, because he was like, "Fuck it, I'll take the nuke. I'm not going to start a goddamn thermonuclear war across the globe for this shit. I'd rather just die and save the planet." And fortunately, there was no nuke. He got in trouble, by the way, for not pressing the button. And I feel like that says something about what it would be like in the real world in that kind of case. I feel like the first nuke would drop. Everyone would freak out, wonder what's going on. A day later, another nuke would drop, and everyone would freak out more and be like, you got to stop this shit right now. Maybe a third nuke, like half a week later. But after that, it would everyone would just completely shut that shit down, be like, no more fucking nukes. It would still be devastating. It would still have lasting effects on the planet, but not full global thermonuclear war, all life is destroyed effects. That's just my assumption on the situation. Oh. The silo was a Russian system detecting a glare on a cloud, confusing it for an exhaust plume. Oh boy. Yeah. Whew. Yeah. See, I try and look on the bright side of things. I say, hey, most people are trying to do good. Most people are trying to do good. A lot of them are bad at it, but they're trying to do good. But it is the last 10 minutes of the show. I'm glad I did the restart really quick. It didn't throw things off too much. It's time to talk about the super chats that were going on while the show was going on. I did cover that one already. Okay. 1237844 games dropped $5 saying, Decker, I'm having a friend of mine who's in Japan at the moment. Ship me a copy of EDF6. Let me know if you want me to have him get any games if you want from over there. Tempting. And he also dropped $2 saying that he brought the Patreon curse here with him after the technical difficulties again. Oh god, why do I keep having technical difficulties? Does AMD not like StreamYard? Is that a thing? Like, oh god. North Korea would win, and it'd be left on a plane dropping a bomb like Doctor Strangelove, or How I Learned to Love the Bomb and forget it. Oh boy. I do want to see Cocaine Bear, based on a true story. But I still miss the idea of Meth Gator. Everyone remembers Meth Gator. I've been getting some messages about the fact that Cocaine Bear and Meth Gator share a lot of similarities in plot. But Meth Gator is more on the idea, it's based on the legend of the Meth Gators. So it's semi-based on a true story. Like, yes, meth was flushed down into the sewage system. Yes, that sewage system did lead to alligator territory. But it's kind of the giant alligators in the sewers of New York kind of legend where it's not real. That didn't happen. But people do make reason that, hey, it did. So it is a scary idea. Let's go with that. Well, the Meth Gator was supposed to be versus Cocaine-a-Dials. But Cocaine Bear is, if that could work out. Though Creepy's the one who has the Meth Gator rights, as it were. So, see what he could do about that. A YouTube news video on Crack Squirrel. Oh, God. We've got to check the movie rights for Crack Squirrels. We might have to do a little creative stuff like the mean one does with not mentioning anything officially Rinch or Seuss going on. Just everyone knows that's exactly what it is, but then it died instead of going on a murderous rampage. I guess that makes sense, but come on, it's Scarface Bear. It's like old One Eye back from the farce that I grew up in. That old bitch who was, they shot in the face and the eye was all busted out and it just was like this big infected kind of wound. You don't want to mess with old One Eye. Be careful. If anyone out there thinking, hey, you know what, Decker grew up in the woods, I could grow up in the woods. You don't want to mess with old One Eye. Just have a nice like daycare system or some shit. Eat breakfast, lunch, and dinner. Have a nice childhood if you have a choice in the matter. Oh yeah, I've seen pictures on that. The one that gave pot sat there and didn't do anything. Yeah, that'll definitely be an issue. Though I think they're like alcohol and it's all fucked up. And it's like, were they drunk or were they dying? Meth tornado. Spin-off in which tornadoes spread meth across the state and turns everyone into a violent lunatic. Meth tornado. This is like the biggest meth lab in all of Tennessee. Like the biggest meth lab ever. Just this meth empire making super Walmart-sized meth lab, super center. And then a super tornado happens and goes through the meth lab and then just tears through and just turns everyone into meth heads. And the super tornado is still going, still making meth heads. And we got to find a way to stop the meth tornado. And it's, god damn it, that is a good movie idea. Oh, God. I'm gonna call bullshit. I'm gonna call it. Yeah, of course, it's the classic thing with anything with people who are obsessed with I'm making progress here is they have to erase all the progress that's been made in order to make that progress, which is really annoying because you can't. That's why we're always in a state of things are the worst they've ever been. It's because everything that has been accomplished has been forgotten about or erased, and it's well, that's good. That's good. But yeah, there's a lot of great females in action movies and such, and female action movie stars. Not as many as there are men. There is a discrepancy to be sure. There could certainly be more, but it was still like eh eh eh. Uh, yeah. Acid dial. Oh my god. Got to have some great POV shots in that one. Imagine an acid dial, high on acid, eating a guy. And then you see from the acid dial's perspective, the acid dial eating a guy while on acid. That would be some fucked up, like that's like where you take that's where the movie's moving picture really works out, where it's about showing a picture to the audience and having it move in certain ways and being something you would never see anywhere else. That's the acid dial. The acid dial would do that. I never much cared for the Arkham combat. I always felt it was kind of just yeah. And it was one of those things like Call of Duty shooting where people could be really good at it without having to spend hours and hours learning. So it attained a wide audience, which is great. But I also wasn't the hugest Batman fan, so I never felt the need to seek out the Arkham games. I played them for the achievements to get Microsoft rewards, but that's about the most I do. That Charlie plays the hell out of them Arkham games. Charlie all over them Arkham. She a big Batman girl. Her controller's named Batmobile. She got all kinds of like just she got the she got the Batman stuff going on. She really liked me going around as a Joker and stuff though. When I was getting dressed as a Joker and I was putting on my makeup, checking everything out, just to get everything ready, she was just there, kind of just living in the moment. Like this is probably what it's like for Harley and the Joker living together. Just, honey, where's my suit? Expendables 4 with Megan Fox. Ronda Rousey that busy with the WWE. I don't know. Ronda Rousey just doing the WWE stuff. I keep seeing it trending on Twitter. Fire Ronda Rousey, and I'm like, what did she do? Who wants to fire? And then some reference with the WWE, which I also don't watch. So I know there's a lot of people who were really into it, and I do understand to an extent. Like the one time I did go to a wrestling match, like a show wrestling match. I gotta say, I do absolutely love it every time someone is thrown through a table. I find it incredibly entertaining, but I don't feel the need to follow these stories and watch all these things unfold and such. And like, I can also play EDF. That's me. I'm the EDF guy. Know a woman who discovered an enzyme which has a vast variety of uses throughout the body. She is working on cancer, but I think that if it affects that much, it could affect things like aging and fat. But her boss is an asshole that stonewalls her constantly, so this could be a problem. This sounds like the this origin stories of a supervillain. Like, she's working really hard. She's got something that could be an absolute boon for humanity, but because her boss is a dick, humanity has to suffer. So she's going to have to go around them and pass some regulations that are there for a good reason. And one thing's going to lead to another, and she's going to end up having to test this thing on like herself, and it's going to turn her into this chimera beast. And it's just. Anyway, we're at the hour mark, so I should probably. Hello, the fall of the 11th. First time I managed to catch a stream live. Hi, hope you're good. Been a little bit. We're back with no green screen because my computer says I don't have a GPU again because the drivers crashed again from StreamYard. StreamYard does that. Opinions of the new Saw 10 coming out next year. People say it's kind of a return to form. They always say that when sequels get long for a horror series, so we'll have to see about that. Everything pointing out being between 1 and 2. Between 1 and 2. So this could be a more. That could actually be a more returned form, actually. Now that you mention that. Could be. I know, but I got so much that I gotta feed my dog. She's there just being a dog. And no dog can just be a dog and not be fed. Dogs have to be fed. And then I gotta walk her. And then I gotta eat myself. Like. Yeah, just gotta eat myself. But we're at the end of the stream technically, as we go for 1 hour on Live and Wired because I like to try and keep them not too long. But then again, I don't know. There's the way things work on YouTube, and I really need to lean into that a little bit more if I want the channel to not die. So maybe I can think about some other things. The pizza party, we got to do that. That's what we do under the veil. Pizza party with pizza and the beer. We still need to do the Live and Wired pizza party. Just have a Live and Wired pizza party. Why not? Just have a nice, chill, relaxed Live and Wired with pizza and beer. I could figure out how to send pizza and beer to Under the Veil and to Thick Black Daddy, and we can have a nice little pizza party. I'm going to have to figure out how to send it to everyone else, though. That's going to be the real challenge. The real challenge is getting everyone else to have pizza and beer. But neuromuscular diseases. Company's working on an artificial cartilage that is stronger than real cartilage. Worked on sheep. The next step is human testing starting in April. Now, since we already did the testing, then that's not a supervillain origin story. If they went straight from like creating it past rats, past sheep, past apes, past all of that, and just went straight into like the creator's body, like, and they turn into the Carapace Man. That would be the origin story of crab people. But we're not human test. That's something. Always like to hear advancements in medicine. Oh yeah. Well, the old streams tended to go for 3 hours, and certainly the drinking streams went for at least that long. The Stephen King drinking game ones, those were some fun Live and Wired. Those were always great to have. But now we're just kind of alone here, and my stream keeps crashing, and I can't do any kind of picture-in-picture stuff because my drivers keep dying. What do I need a new card? Do I need a new card? Because I don't want a new card. But do I need a new card? Because I can't afford a new card. But do I need a new card? But what am I working on? First of all, I'd like to mention that I have the review I'm working on is the start of Dinosember. It's a request from an earlier live stream. I don't think it was a Live and Wired, actually. I think it might have been on a stream that was like in between Live and Wired. So like when Live and Wired was on a bit of a hiatus. But I am working on a review of Caveman starring Ringo Starr. So that's that. But also wanted to mention that Last time I did this, my computer also crapped out. I was doing a stream making horror art, and I wanted to finish that stream and have a little highlight video for YouTube, just showing all of the amazing stuff that you can make with horror art. Because AI art, AI art tends to lean towards horror anyway. So rather than call it a bug, I call it a feature, and we just lean into that some more. But I was taking requests, and one of the things that came up was Toxic Avenger mixed with Captain America, which created this. Tover. And I love Tover. I feel like Tover is the hero that America needs. Tover is one of the greatest creations, and I want to see a return of Tover. So, we're going to get more Tover in the second little stream. I want to do another stream creating horror art, and then merge the two into one YouTube video. But see, I just like beer. Call me boring. Liquor, I get too used to. I just like, I'll get the hangover later. I'll get really in pain and screwed up from it. But I'm not going to get, like, tipsy from it. Whereas beer, I'll get, like, a nice buzz and enjoy myself. And then the next day, I'm also fine. Like, yay. Free drunk. So pizza and beer. That's how we work. Pizza and beer. But yes. Thick Black Daddy, he didn't join us tonight, but he is still streaming on his Twitch whenever he can. And Under the Veil is still working on her stuff, I do believe. Still working on your latest videos and what have you for just a lot of molasses killed a bunch of people. It takes a while to talk about it. A lot of molasses. Okay, Lou, yes, I'll get you your din-din. Yes, Lou. Yes. So, thank you all for watching. I have been Decker Shadow. And remember, computers are expensive.